Hey there, Aquarius. Welcome to your reading for the total lunar eclipse in Taurus on the 8th. This is going to be a bonus reading. We're just going to do a little Celtic cross here. And again, as I've said to everyone, even on the last eclipse, I feel like this eclipse energy will probably be lasting until the next eclipse, which will be or the next set of eclipses, I should say, which will be in April of 2023. At least that's when they're going to start. So we have a good amount of time to deal with this energy. I don't think it's terrible energy, that's for sure. But could be, we could be experiencing a little bit of chaos just in general. It actually looks pretty good for you. I feel like something, it's an eclipse. So, sometimes after eclipses, the truth comes out or something gets exposed. You have the Hermit here. I don't think this is necessarily, I feel like I said this to you in your last reading, didn't I? I feel very similar energy of kind of like exposing your truth, but it's not like you think. I don't think this is like, oh, the truth is coming out. This is your inner truth. You're exposing something. His star, he has a star in the lantern in front of him, like the star card. But it's inside the lantern. He needs to let it out. So I feel like some of you could need to share something with the world. I mean, literally, you could be starting like a YouTube channel or writing a book or something. There's something inside of you that wants to come out. And again, that makes sense to me with an eclipse. Again, it might not happen during the eclipse because during eclipses, it's like during the eclipse, it's usually a terrible time to start something. But what I would say is like a few days after, there's nothing wrong with, kind of putting something out into the world, especially if you're working on something new. And, you have the Eight of Cups here. This is the only card in the tarot that has an eclipse on it right here. And this is your crossing energy. So it is the energy that is crossing you. Some of you might have a difficult time or are having a difficult time walking away from something that no longer serves you. And I really don't have a good answer for you here. I don't even necessarily think it is love. It could be love because you have the Lovers and the Ace of Cups, but it could be any situation that just isn't fulfilling. Could be job, business, or whatever. I would really look at what you're putting your energy into. And I would be saying am I getting what I deserve back from the situation? Job, love, business, spiritually, health-wise, anything, right? And you have to be honest with yourself. This could be what's being exposed. Again, this reading feels very personal to me. I think it's really all about you. I don't think it's necessarily saying oh, this is about love, even though that could be part of it, right? I think it's more about your personal feelings. What are you being fulfilled? Are you getting what you want or no? I don't know. You have to answer that question. And again, I would look into the cups. These cups are empty. So he's walking away and he's walking towards the Nine of Cups. He's walking towards true fulfillment. I think in the area of your thoughts, what you are thinking, you have the Death card. You're definitely thinking change on the Death card. I also think you're thinking about brighter days. The sun is coming up between the two pillars here that are normally on the moon. I actually kind of like this because to me it says you are focusing maybe more on the happier side of things. Maybe you've been in a moon period where you haven't been sure about things, but now you're focusing on happiness. You can also see that the King is dead underneath the Death Rider on the Death card. It kind of represents something that's been established in your life coming to an end. Here's the thing, is that you don't necessarily have to end something that has been established in your life with the Death card. It's let's say, for example, that you look at your business and you're like, wow, I'm wasting a lot of freaking time, right? Well, what you can do with the Death card is, number one, embrace the energy of the child. The child is holding up a flower to the Death Rider. So the child is saying okay, let's change it. Let's make a change. The child is happy for the change. The people on here, they're like, oh my God, change. I can't believe that things have to change in life, right? They're just freaking out, crapping their pants. Who cares, right? I think what you need to do is embrace the energy of the child and kind of look at things with fresh eyes. Ask questions, right? Children ask a lot of questions. So maybe you're wasting a lot of time in business, but that's okay. If you ask a lot of questions and you learn what you can do about it, and you find other ways of doing things, and you'll be very successful. Same thing in love. Maybe you're wasting time in love, but this is saying, what can you do about it? And really, part of your answer is the Nine of Wands. We are in a time of experimentation. I feel like you, Aquarius, are definitely one of the signs that's here, mostly because you are the innovator. I feel like you are here to show people how to experiment. I feel like you are here to show people that they can do things differently. Nine of Wands is my card of throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks. This is going to lead to long-term security for you if we go this direction. In the area of your foundation, you have the Lovers. If you are in a positive relationship, things could be very good for you, could actually be adding to your foundation. I really feel, as always, that this is about a choice for you. You've been dealing with some sort of difficult decision for like 2 years now, Aquarius, at least, that I can remember. I feel like the universe is guiding you, but see, there's a cloud. This is your higher self angel. This is a cloud. And it's almost like something is very cloudy about a decision that you have to make. And I feel like it's keeping you stuck. And I've been feeling this for a long time. We're going to obviously see if you get set free because of the eclipse. But going up this way, we go to the Eight of Swords. And, the Eight of Swords is self-imposed restriction. So I feel like you could be keeping yourself stuck in a situation or because of a situation in any area of your life. In your past, you have the Page of Swords. Page of Swords is kind of like a card of curiosity. And, I almost get this feeling of exploration on the Page of Swords because I do get like a little bit of immature energy as well. This is not a bad thing, by the way. I want to stress that I'm not calling you immature, but what I am saying is that, again, childlike energy, kind of like on the death card with the child, and maybe he makes some mistakes, right? Page of Swords, he maybe explores some things that he shouldn't be exploring, but at the same time, it's like he might make a lot of mistakes, and what do we do with mistakes? We learn from them. So I feel like you've made a lot of mistakes, or I don't know, you could be beating yourself up. I get a weird feeling from this for some reason that you could be beating yourself up over a mistake. I would just let it go. Plain and simple. I feel like it's saying like, okay, yeah, but you learn from it. So that's all you need to know. In the near future, you have the Nine of Wands. Nine of Wands is kind of like having your boundaries up. Again, I do feel like if you've been through a relationship hurt or something like that, going this direction, I do feel this is saying like, hey, there's true love for you. It exists, Ace of Cups, but you have to put down your guard. You have to kind of lower your boundaries and realize that not everyone's going to put you, not everyone is going to wound you, with the Nine of Wands, wounded warrior. I also feel that, again, this is encouraging you to experiment. We're going to clarify in a minute. I have a sneaking suspicion that we're going to see at least one card. There are several cards in this deck that represent experimentation. And, I have a very strong feeling that we're probably going to see at least one of them because of that Nine of Wands. Over the next few months, you have the King of Pentacles, focusing on your stability. Again, I don't really see a problem with this at all. And you have the Queen of Pentacles next, which is amazing. Even if you don't want love, just having the two together really says that you're tapping into your resources. You're becoming more resourceful. You're probably also looking at how to duplicate your resources as well. Like some of you, I feel, are very focused on kind of making your money work for you. So a lot of you could be like investing, or you could be learning about investing or saving your money or doing responsible things with your money and all that other stuff. I'm a Pisces, so I have no clue how to be responsible with money, right? Don't ask me. Find a financial expert is what I would say. But, for a lot of you, again, I feel like you're very focused on that. I also feel that, again, King of Pentacles, Queen of Pentacles, if you're looking for love, doesn't matter what gender you're looking for. I love these two as divine counterparts because they're the best, plain and simple. In the area of your closest relationships, you have the Queen of Pentacles. Queen of Pentacles is about being resourceful. So I feel like you are being very resourceful. I feel like you're tapping into your resources, finding more resources, finding new ways to make money, finding better ways to spend your money, like all that stuff. Everything is popping into my head. The thing is that it's showing up in the area of your closest relationship. So you could be learning things from people in your life. And if you're looking to improve your finances, that's exactly where I'd be looking, is the people who are closest to you. I also do feel that if you're getting into a relationship actually with an earth sign, there could be a lot of stability. Just looking around here at all these cards, could also be a Scorpio or a Virgo is popping into my head here. Yeah, that's it so far. But if it's one of those signs, there could be like a lot of success coming in for you here. I kind of get power couple vibes here, but it's kind of funny because, they're showing up as a Queen and King of Pentacles. They're not showing up as like the Emperor and the Empress or something else like that. So it's almost like you could be starting a business with a person, and I feel it could be very successful, especially, if you're like marrying this person or something like that. Next, in the area of your future feelings, you have the Eight of Swords. You are not stuck. I feel like you need to realize that you're not stuck. Eight of Swords is sometimes a card of being too close to a problem. And so if at any moment, if you feel stuck in the future, I feel you just need to back up and take a step back, or maybe you need to gain a new perspective by, talking to people in your life. She could easily set herself free, but she just doesn't. So I feel that. I also feel you need to really, your outcome is amazing. You have the Ace of Cups. I also feel this is partially a solution to the Eight of Swords. Why are you preventing yourself from fulfillment is what I feel like asking you, Aquarius. It's like you have the Eight of Swords and the Eight of Cups. This to me says, Eight of Cups is all about fulfillment. Even, it could be love, but it doesn't have to be. It could be financial fulfillment or whatever. And that Eight of Swords is like allowing things to get in the way of your own fulfillment, over things that could make you feel fulfilled. I really feel that, you know, part of me feels like your answer is what I say every single reading that I do, which is that the answer to like the next decade is justice, meaning if you put energy into something, like what do you get out? I feel like if you're living in your head and if you're saying like, oh, I can't have this relationship because of XYZ. It's like, okay, but do you really know that? Or are you just basing it off of your imagination, what you think would happen, right? You know, I said to one of the other signs that I read for that I really feel during this eclipse that we need to live in the land of possibility, not probability. It's like probably you can think, oh, my business is going to fail because everybody's business fails. But that's not true. There are plenty of successful businesses. Same thing in relationships. It's like maybe you have a good person in your life, but you're saying to yourself, probability, I shouldn't be with this person because 90% of relationships end in divorce. But possibly this one wouldn't. So I feel like but really it's saying, you know, of course, you know, shit always happens, right? That's life. My Italian grandfather used to say to me, there's an old Italian proverb, shit happens. That's literally what he would say to me. And he's popping into my head right now. So, you know, I feel like shit can always happen, but it's like, at the same time, good things can happen too. It's like if you don't think that good things can happen, then good things aren't going to happen. But if you do think good things can happen, then they will. With the Hermit and the Eight of Cups, you have this escape card. Yeah, you're trying to run away from something that's no longer fulfilling for you. And look, it is 111. Every time I try to do this, it never works for you. Look at 111. And a cute dog, too. So there you go. But what I would say here is that I feel for a lot of you, you could be trying to escape a situation that is like no longer clear to you or is no longer fulfilling, just in general. Could be anything. With the Death card, you have the Isolation card. I'm wondering if you're feeling isolated. Eight of Swords, Hermit, this card here. So you could be isolating yourself. Can we get more detail on this isolation? There you go. Boom. Versatility. I told you at least one card about... I told you that at least one card about experimentation would come up. Being versatile is being able to do things differently, or coming up with or seeing multiple ways to do anything. So that's going to be your solution. But I also feel like you could be feeling isolated away from something that has ended. I don't know, kind of a weird situation here. I'm wondering, you know, especially if you were dealing with like a Virgo or a Scorpio, there could be something going on there. With the Lovers, you have detachment. So I'm wondering if you're detaching from a love situation or someone's detaching from you here. And, you know, again, this could be like someone who has their boundaries up with the Nine of Wands. Could be you as well. You know, it's like, what do I feel here? I feel like this is talking about, I feel distant. Number one, there's boats on this card. So, you know, for some of you, you could be feeling detached from a person who is distant, or maybe they're being distant or something like that. For some of you, I'm wondering if you're in this relationship and you're dealing with a person who's being distant, you know? And it's like, I mean, eclipses eclipse things out of our lives. They take, you know, I hesitate to say they take things away from us because they don't take anything away from us. What they do is they make us see things that make us like walk away from things that no longer serve us, right? They kind of illuminate things, believe it or not, even though it's being eclipsed, doesn't matter. And so I kind of see that happening. Some sort of detachment. I'm going to clarify your past as well. Page of Swords, extremism. So if this was a relationship, I feel that there were like two sides, you know? Extremism is a card of extreme energy. But it's like maybe you couldn't tell whether a person was really like in love or if they were just being extreme, right? I think it's like there's a difference, right? You know, like all what's the favorite phrase of all these YouTube love experts that have all been divorced 35 times, love bombing, right? So it's like sometimes I think if a person loves us too much, we're like, okay, is this real? Is this love bombing, or is this extremism, or do they really love me? So there's something here. I don't know, I feel confused about a past situation where you couldn't tell if it was real or fake. And again, maybe that's why in the future this is saying you have to explore situations to figure out what they really are and I would use justice. Like I said, you know, people always come at me and say like, oh yeah, but I'm afraid because I've been hurt. I'm like, yeah, okay, well that's part of life. Number one, get over it, right? And sorry, this is Tough Love with Chris. This is not, you know, Yo Mama's love reading, okay? So what I would say here is that I think we have to, number one, open up to get hurt in the first place to be in a relationship, but also justice, right? Hit the ball over to them. Like tennis, do they hit the ball back? If the answer is yes, keep going. If the answer is no, stop. And, you know, that's what I would do here. There's something, like, I see one of those, like, old school calculators in my head as well. Like, it's like where the person would be, like, hitting a million numbers and it, like, prints the paper. I hope you know what I'm talking about. Probably not. But, it's like someone is adding things up here. I'm wondering if it's you. You could be, like, adding things up in past relationships. I wouldn't be obsessive about this, is what I'm trying to spit out here. And because I get a little bit of an obsessive energy. Like, if maybe you're comparing and contrasting, like, past relationships and you're like, oh, like, you're finally realizing, like, what you want in relationships. I don't know. It's probably a good thing. With the Nine of Wands, see, this is like that restless energy, It says restlessness on it, and I do get a little restless energy here. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Does this have to be a bad thing? No. I would, number one, communicate with yourself. This is Hermes. This is the Staff of Hermes right here. The Staff of Hermes is all about communication. Staff of Hermes is tied to Mercury, so I feel like you need to communicate with yourself. Number one here is what I'm getting. Number two, I feel like you need to end a cycle. You see this circle right here? It's like I'm getting the words once and for all, Aquarius, and you have this circle here. It kind of looks like, if I'm being honest with you, I have no clue what that is. I think it's a compass, actually. It is a compass. So, I feel like you need to pick a direction, but isn't it interesting that there's like so many directions here on this compass? It's got like it's got a million little points. You see that? And so I feel for some of you, it's like kind of like saying, you know what to do in your life right now, but you just need to pick a direction and make it happen. That's kind of like what I feel. With the King of Pentacles, you have this ostentation card. This is Saturn in Taurus. The King of Pentacles is Taurus. So I would be looking at, like, if you're wondering, like, what situations do I enter into, especially in love, I would say, does the person put in the work or do they just talk? That's what I'm getting here. Ostentation is about, like, showing off. But I think there's, like, good showing off and then there's bad showing off, right? It's like, I always say, if you got it, flaunt it, right? So if you are dealing with people in the future, if they say something and they do it, then they obviously have a right to show off. But if they're all words, I would be careful of that. And I kind of feel maybe that's one of the things that you've learned over the years. Same thing in like work or business. Again, I think there are probably a lot of words right now, and I would pay attention to like actual results. With the Queen of Pentacles, you have the negotiation card. I would definitely negotiate anything that you possibly can at this time. Like if you're buying something expensive, like a house, a car, whatever, I definitely would not accept the price. I think it's an amazing time to negotiate. Also, Jupiter in Libra. So more of that Libra justice energy. With the Eight of Swords, you have this intuition card. See, I feel like you need to trust your intuition. Blindfolds in the tarot, while I don't like the blindfolds in the tarot personally, because I think it's just an overcomplication of the interpretation of the card. But what I will say is that blindfolds in the tarot, like on the Eight of Swords, they kind of represent needing to trust your intuition. I feel like, especially if you're making a choice here with the Lovers, you could be detached from making the choice, or you don't want to make the choice, but it's like you know what the right choice is. So I feel like you need to trust your intuition, plain and simple. With the Ace of Cups, you have this fulfillment card. See, are you kidding me? It's like the Ace of Cups is total fulfillment. And I feel like you know that something is total fulfillment. It could involve travel or moving. You see, this is Saturn and Sagittarius. So it's like total, I feel like a move, but maybe not literally. You maybe don't have to move, right? But maybe this is more a figurative move, like you need to get moving, or maybe you have a job that sucks and you know there's another one that's better. I would make the move. Maybe you're in love with a person from a distance. I would make the move, or at least travel here. But again, something has to come down to earth. I'm freaking shocked that the Seven of Cups didn't come up in your reading, because I get Seven of Cups vibes here. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure you always get the Seven of Cups. And it's like something exists up here, but it needs to be brought down here. For a lot of you, this could be financial as well. It's like I kind of feel like you're dipping your toes in the water in work or business, but it's like until you make I kind of feel like you need to make the full commitment. Let's put it that way. Like, let's say you have a YouTube channel or something. Here's what I mean by making the full commitment also. It's like I totally understand having a job, or maybe you have other responsibilities, but I would make the agreement with yourself, like, okay, I'm going to post 3 videos a week, and I'm going to commit to this. Sometimes I think when we make that commitment with the universe, which is what this looks like to me, right? This reading looks like some sort of commitment that you're making because of what your heart is telling you to do, plain and simple, and what you want to do. You're picking a direction with that restless card. There's too many directions. Just pick one, right? I think once you make the commitment, the universe can say, okay, it's yours, whatever it is. So, I would make a commitment. And again, I would come up with some sort of plan. Especially in work or business, I would be like, this is, take the leap of faith, the fool jumping out there, right? So it is safe for you to take a leap of faith, but I would make the commitment with the universe and say like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. And if it's like, post 3 videos a day, maybe you can't even do that. Maybe you can just do 1 a week. It's like, make the agreement, stick to it. The universe will reward you. Same thing in love. It's like, maybe you're in love with a person. It's like saying, okay, explore the love. Maybe you need to have communication with the person or whatever. It's like, if you do it, then the universe will get out of your way. So we're going to do 1 question now, Aquarius. With these 3 cards, if you don't have a question, that's fine too. I'm going to put all 3 together at the end and just do them like a personalish reading. So feel free to pause because I'm about to read them right now. So pause it now. This is amazing. You have the World, the Knight of Pentacles, and the Star. This is like total fulfillment. The World is an accomplishment and travel and moving. The Knight of Pentacles is like, what the hell are you waiting for? Something is your star. I really feel this, that there's something that is like your ultimate goal, wish, or dream, but you have to start taking the steps to have it. The Star says the intention has been set. You can see the ripples in the water. That is the pool of universal consciousness. This reading is basically saying to me that you have sent I feel like you've sent the intention out. The universe is just waiting for you to plant the first seed, to take the first step with that Knight of Pentacles, and you will be successful. It's funny that you have this devotion card on the bottom of this deck as well. This card, it kind of like, sometimes I think we do need to commit to something, and I'm not talking about love here necessarily, but sometimes I think if we, it's kind of like, like, why do you think the best business advice out there is to kind of like not have 1,000 projects going on at once, to focus on one thing and make it happen? Does that mean you can't have 1,000 projects? Hell no. I do a ton of stuff. I have multiple businesses and I work on all of them, but I do them one at a time, right? There is a difference between that. And I also started them one at a time, right? I wasn't like working on 900 things at once. So it's like when we commit to something, which I feel like this is asking you to do, and we are devoted to something, and we say, I'm going to see this through to the end, then we're going to be successful. So that's what I feel for you here, Aquarius. I don't know. I hope this reading makes sense. Also, by the way, how interesting is this? It kind of looks like the compass that is on that compass card as well. But there's also 8 stars on the star. Pick one, Aquarius. One thing stands out to you above all the rest, and you know what it is, so pick it. But this looks good. Thank you for being here, Aquarius. Really appreciate it. Make sure to watch your sun, moon, and rising for a full picture of what's going on for you at this time. But thank you, and definitely enjoy your week.